Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, June 4th, 2026. I, of course, am Hammer, founder of Hammer Solutions, home of three great products that help my originator friends get more business from Google AI search and social media. Be sure to check them out. Originator Success, Grab and Go Social, and Rate Sensei. So check those out. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube, broadcasting on there, talking about what's going on with rates and pricing for the day. If you would like to make sure that you join me and not miss a moment of the show, you want to get a text reminder. If you don't get our text reminder, go ahead and sign up at hmmr.io/reminder or use this cool QR code. If you're on your phone right now, take a screenshot, go back to your photos. You'll be able to reference that later. Also, you can sign up and get our written email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. Let me see if I got a copy of this to show you what that looks like on the Googles here. Hold on a second. Here we are. Let's get some market commentary. I'll show you what that looks like. You can sign up for this. It's just a quick read about, going on kind of stuff I talk about here. So quick recap, what happened yesterday, the rate outlook for today, rate outlook for the next 15 days, whether to lock or float, 15 to 30 days, the outlook and lock or float, 30 plus days, locking or floating, and then just a quick technical snapshot of what's going on in the market at that particular time with the nice handy charts. A good quote on the day. So be sure to check up and sign up for that. Also, you could, of course, sign up for our text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com as well. If you're here this morning, say good morning. Would love to hear from all my live friends. If you're watching the replay, do me a favor, give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, maybe tag an LO friend. Make sure that you also comment. I get a lot of people that watch but don't comment, but your comments help the algorithm engagement. Also, they help me stay engaged. Like I said yesterday, I have imposter syndrome. I don't know why y'all like to just sit and listen to me in the morning. Someone said I'm entertaining. If you could see the monkey dance, then cool, go with it. But otherwise, your comments make me feel good. Also, welcome to all the live folks. I don't think she's here this morning, but I have to tell you, my friend Melanie is a seat stealer. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I can make sure that she sees it because she is a seat stealer. She said, if you move your feet, you lose your seat. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys agree with this one? I'm taking a screenshot of this. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys agree? If you move your feet, you lose your seat. Is that just like something we need to live by and stand by? Because we were together with some friends yesterday, and I was sitting next to my wife, and I got up to get a drink, and she took my seat so she could talk to my wife, and that was it. And just left me out in the cold. So Melanie is a seat stealer, and I told her I was gonna. She watches. She's a real estate agent, and I said, I'm going to rat you out tomorrow on the show. That's why you guys are probably like, why are you talking about this? This is so random. She watches the show. So yeah, I want to make sure that she gets it. So let me know in the comments. Comment of the day. That's the question of the day. Do you live by move your feet, lose your seat? Hold on. I gotta put that on there. Do you believe in move your feet, lose your seat? So that is the question of the day. Just put it up there. Let me know in the comments. Is that what you teach your kids? Move your feet, lose your seat? So Tim says in that scenario, yes. Holly Johnson, I have 3 boys and they say that all the time and live it always. Yeah. I tell you, Rob Wilson, don't be emotionally attached to a chair. So, all right, my friends. Anyway, let's go ahead and I think I've said enough of the other crap. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started this morning. So I am off to Atlanta, by the way, heading out to the TAG event that is going on over there. So let's see. Let me pop this on here. Oh, the screen here. So yeah, so I'm off to TAG this morning, and I'm going to take the motorcycle though. So anyone else going to TAG, the American Gift from EPM that they put on that event? So let me know in the comments. Would love to see you there. If you are going to be in Atlanta at the TAG event, I am riding the motorcycle, the new bike. I am going to be riding the motorcycle there from my home here in Waynesville. So I'm taking the fun route, and it'll probably take me 5 hours to get there. But if I'm going to go, it takes me 3.5 hours if I take the Jeep and get to Atlanta. So why not add a little bit of time and a lot of fun? I'm going to take the fun route. So it's all about the hats, my friend, Mr. Teakle. Good morning and giddy up, sir. So let me go ahead and move this around. So what we got going on this morning, let me get my fat head out of the way and we'll talk about that. So this morning, mortgage direct security is currently up 15 basis points. If you take a look down here, in fact, let me just take a minute and make this bigger so we can see this, especially for those of you that might be looking on mobile. Here you go. So this is today right here. Okay. And yesterday we're going to do in purple. That was right here. And in blue was Tuesday. So Tuesday. So if you take a look here, we are basically back to being close. We're down here at the moment now. We're back to being close to where we were on Tuesday, kind of wiping out those losses from yesterday. Yesterday, we were down about 19 basis points. We were up as much as 20 basis points a few minutes ago, only up 13 basis points now. Hopefully we get some of that back. Treasury at 4.46 at the moment. Yesterday pushed up, end of the day at 4.50, not where we want it to be at all. So quick recap what happened yesterday. We saw yesterday, you saw the losses here early in the morning, right here. Remember, down is bad. It makes us cry. Right? We don't want to see that. So we lost a lot of ground. We saw a little bit of movement right around 10 a.m. was right here. We saw a little bit of recovery, a little bit of loss, and then it was basically flat on the day, almost like on Tuesday, very flat. Not like what we saw early, like Friday of last week, where you were up, down, up, down, up, down. So basically, yesterday was flat on the day after that, and there. So rate sheets today are going to be slightly better. Rate sheets came out yesterday around 100.25. But lenders were coming off of these lows, so they tended to price a little more conservatively. That's why we did not get any reprices worse yesterday, which would be surprising when you would see that drop. But we didn't get any reprices worse yesterday. Hold on, I gotta tweak this here so I can adjust it. So anyway, as far as today goes, come on, man. Here we go. All right, taking a look here. Let me sweeten this a little. There we go, a little bit more. All right, so taking a look here, if we take a look at pricing, basically this morning will be a little bit better. End of the day yesterday around 6.61. Today, you'll be back to like 6.58, 6.59. This is more of like what we'll see today as far as where we're at. Not a huge difference, but a difference, right? A little bit of a difference. So you can see that rate sheets and pricing really have stagnated. We hit our worst level back here on the 19th of May, 6.75, and it came back down, but we also haven't improved much past that 6.57. This is our kind of our best mark here. This was 6.56 actually was Friday. So 6.56 last Friday. This morning we'll be a little closer to where we were last Friday. So that's it, and because of that, I am definitely in a spot where I think that anything that's closing in the next 15 days, I am locking that. Here's your last chance, by the way. Answer the question of the day. Do you believe in move your feet, lose your seat? I'm going to throw the lock advice up on the screen here. So rate, as far as reprice risk on the day, by the way, it's moderate. And we'll go through all the rest of it. But rate outlook, I'm locking anything closing in the next 15 days. It's all about the headlines, right? So the chances of seeing things improve in the next 2 weeks, not only would we have to see an actual announcement of something that was signed, we would need to see oil drop, and that's going to take ships moving on the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think we have the potential to see rates move that much lower in the next 2 weeks. I think it's going to take longer. I think it's going to be the second half of June. So even if we do see things move positively, I don't see enough rate improvement that I'm excited about floating, especially when there's a lot of risk going on where we could be right now. Definitely some things to pay attention to. GOP-led House votes to limit Trump's Iran war powers. Effort to constrain the White House comes as the war has morphed from heavy bombing campaign to the fragile ceasefire. Curious to see how this plays out and how Trump handles this. I think he'll just dismiss it, but basically, I don't know that this is going to make any difference to end anything any sooner. It's the only reason I'm bringing it up again. We're not about political commentary as much as how does this political stuff affect rates and pricing and where we are there. So, as far as looking at, some other stuff, this is an interesting one. And this is why I would go ahead and float anything that's 15 to 30 and 30 plus days. Trump tells aides he won't resume all-out war with Iran unless U.S. troops are killed. Now, you have to, first of all, who's leaking this information? And somebody that's in Trump's circle, I can't imagine that if they've managed to be in his circle, that this isn't being leaked kind of on purpose, maybe, because I just don't see people. You think Bill Pulte there? Bill Pulte would probably take a bullet before he would leak something on Trump. He's, Mr. Little Trump there. So, but when you look at the rest of them, President Trump told aides he would end the Iran ceasefire if Tehran kills American troops. But the U.S. and Iran is engaged in intense fighting this. I don't know if I'd call it intense. They love their adjectives. With Iran attacking U.S. bases in Kuwait's airport, Trump rejected Iran's latest proposal for a memorandum of understanding, demanding serious concessions up front. So, again, I don't think any of the headlines that we get really prepare us for what's actually happening and how soon it will happen. So markets react to the rumors, and we have to watch the rumors, even though I don't think we can trust this as giving us an idea of when something is going to get done and how the wind blows. This isn't something we can necessarily put stock in that would allow us to feel comfortable floating, because if we get more military action, rates are going to go up, and we have to be careful of that. So again, all that stuff is down at the bottom. War Power's vote is TDS. He will simply veto it. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I think it's kind of, I think there's a lot of politicking, a lot of, just jockeying for what things are actually, how they're perceived. So NASDAQ futures tumble as Broadcom tests the AI trade as markets wrap. Basically, the main thing here is, a lot of stocks are being really, really affected by the AI stuff, which is also supporting bonds in a certain amount of cases as well, because of balancing portfolios. Iran says no progress in U.S. talks as Lebanon sees more clashes. That's the other thing that's got to be factored in is it's Israel and Lebanon, Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. That is a big thing. And if that, we don't have the same control over that as Trump has over the American armies, American forces. So with that in mind, if this is something that creates, that blows up, if you will, it could be bad for bonds. It could be bad for rate sheets. So it's another reason why I'm locking anything that's closing in the next couple of weeks. I just feel like our upside is limited in the next couple of weeks. I feel like if we do see improvement, it's going to happen later in June. So keeping the door open for that. I feel like there is a bit of a cap. Remember, we capped out at 6.75. We'd have to see some stuff really bad happen to break us above this again. This is only an eighth to possibly a quarter if you want to really argue it on, how low we might get to where we're at now. So how much higher it is from where we're at now. That's enough that I would go ahead and take that risk, especially for anything that's floating for, the end of June, July. I wouldn't be worried about locking those loans up right now with all this stuff that's going on. So that is about it, my friends. Again, it's really right now, this is what I think is kind of taking a lot of the reins on stuff in the back end. Markets will react to these headlines. Reprice risk on the day remains moderate because of that. We can absolutely see reaction to headlines. As Ron Siegel has pointed out, you're going to see overreaction to there. So market will improve, contrarian trade. I locked yesterday. So yeah. So you say it'll improve what if things blow up? I don't know which way that we're referencing on that one. So, but yeah, I do agree with locking on most of these. So, all right, my friends, good to see you, Siegel. You're alive. Brandy, I just don't understand the desire to make a trip longer. Let me show you, Brandy. Here is why I make a trip longer. So why would I make a trip longer? Well, if I go ahead and let's put in the Let's put in the hotel and Google Map that puppy, right? So here you go. So here is why you make a trip longer. Directions, come on. From here. So if I go straight, it's 3 hours and 23 minutes. And as I hit traffic, this could go up to 3 hours and 45 minutes. But then look at what I have to ride on. I got to ride on 985. Who wants to ride on 985, the highway, right? I got to go this 6-lane freaking highway all the way down into the heart of Atlanta, or I got to take 575 here. Now, if I do this and I avoid them highways, yes, it makes my route longer, but like this route right here, 5 hours and 11 minutes, I get to go through Nantahala Gorge over here, which is absolutely beautiful. As you go, through this whole section, it's a beautiful riding on a motorcycle. And I get to go through Andrews. Once you get to Murphy, it opens up again. It gets kind of boring for a while. Then I get to go down through 515, Jasper, Talking Rock, Nelson, these different areas. And instead of taking the highway, I'm taking these nice scenic, swervy back roads. Maybe I go this route. Maybe I actually pull this and I go 19 like this, and I take some things here, and I go and enjoy this route over here. We got to go on 28 right there because 28. So this is a 6-hour ride, but I really can't do 6 hours, or else I might even do this maybe on the way back. But the reason that you make a trip longer is because it is fun to ride a motorcycle. Motorcycle riding is about the journey, not the destination. That is why, my friend. That is why. Did you miss it? Challenger layoffs increased. Jobless claims increased. No, I didn't even talk about it because it really didn't tweak bonds at all. And I don't think it changes anything in the real Fed outlook. So I didn't even really go over any of that. You are correct. Jobless openings rise. This was for JOLTS, not for jobless claims. So for the one I have here, you lock, so you prove that markets will prove that you cannot time the market. Will show you that you're wrong. Originally from West North Carolina, those routes have beautiful scenery. Yes, Hannah, you're absolutely right. Morning, Almir. Tim said, replying to Ron Siegel. Oh, thanks for taking one for the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. That's actually a totally different book. I think I read it before. Skyline Drive, Shenandoah National Park. Yep. And if you take Skyline Drive, it runs into the Blue Ridge Parkway. I have taken Skyline Drive to the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way to the end of Cherokee. I have ridden that entire 450-mile stretch. So it is beautiful. I have done that before. Which route is most likely to get you into the rain? Yeah, I bought the new bike on Friday and I got slammed with rain as I was coming home. Giant thunderstorm. And rain's a bitch to see when I'm riding. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, y'all, because I do need to get going so I can hit the road and spend a few more hours on the road rather than getting to the mortgage event in Atlanta. Are any of you going to be at the tag event? Let me know in the comments. If you are, make sure you say hello, and I will catch y'all later. Ron Siegel, have you done the Dragon's Tail? Dragon's Tail, there's Tail of the Dragon, which is over by Robbinsville. That's the 318 curves and 11 miles. I've done it many, many times. I try to avoid it because it is brutally touristy, and you have some people that are flying on it super fast, some people that are just it's above their technical riding proficiency and they shouldn't be on the road to begin with, and they're riding so slow it actually makes it very difficult to ride. So if I do that road, I do it early in the morning before anyone else gets on it. But there's so many other beautiful roads around here. So for that, so Bobadilla, yeah, I'll see you at tag, man. Good to know you're going to be there. In Salt Lake, waiting for your flight. Well, fly safe, my friend. And as you're up there in an airplane, just think of me on a motorcycle. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will, of course, come to you from Atlanta, and we'll wrap up the week. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.